She may experience the transphobia, her privilege and wealth affords her the feeling of belonging far beyond the access and opportunities that a person of color has to deal with. Now, let's take Laverne Cox, Janet Mock, Alexandria Gray, all black trans women, if they were not out, could pass for cisgender, heteronormative women. Their privilege, I'm gonna say that one again. Their privilege lies in the fact that they can lead stealth lives if they wanted to, because they fit the hetero norm of what a woman should look like, act like, dress like. A gay man is subjected to homophobia. A black gay man is impacted by homophobia, racism, criminalization. Trans woman is subjected to sexism and transphobia, while a black trans woman or man, like Brian Michael Smith, is impacted by sexism, racism, transphobia, and criminalization. So remember what I talked about with intersectionality. A disabled Jewish lesbian will have to deal with ableism, homophobia, anti-Semitism, racism, and sexism. Needless to say, my very existence is at the intersection of race, racism, sexism, and homophobia. I want you to marinate on that for a moment as you think about what transgender people go through on a daily basis. If you haven't had an opportunity, in the reception area, there are some paintings there. A few years ago, I launched a project called the Stolen Lives Project, where I'm documenting the transgender people who have lost their lives due to violence. Victims of transgender anti-violence are overwhelmingly transgender women of color who live at the dangerous intersections of transphobia, racism, sexism, and criminalization, which often leads to high rates of poverty, unemployment, and homelessness. I love this quote, and I wanted to include it so that you could see it and hear me read it. Zim Porter tells us that resiliency comes in knowing that our blackness and trans identity are intertwined so beautifully they cannot be pulled apart. It is in the intersection of my identities that pride, like a phoenix, rises from the ashes of oppression. Resiliency is knowing the fire in my black trans heart burns brighter with a purpose so strong, nothing can diminish it. So when Zim talks about the beautiful burning light that rises from the ashes of oppression, something hits a trans person in the face like a brick. So reality sets in, right? They're brought back to reality. Why? Because their very existence goes against hetero norms. A trans woman is seen as inferior, not human. A trans man is seen as weak, not normal. When you go against hetero norms, there are permanent, unimaginable consequences. I want to put this on the screen. Permanent, unimaginable consequences that our trans brothers and sisters face. The Human Rights Campaign reports that transgender people are killed in vicious ways. They're shot, they're stabbed, they're strangled, they're beaten, they're stoned. Dana Martin, 31, a black transgender woman, was fatally shot in Montgomery, Alabama. You're gonna hear these names again. Jaslyn Ware, 34, a black transgender woman, was found dead in her Memphis apartment. Ashanti Carmen, 27, a black transgender woman, was fatally shot in Prince George County, Maryland. Michelle Tamika Washington, 40, a black transgender woman, was fatally shot in Philadelphia. It is not enough for us to grieve the loss of these victims. We must honor their memories with action What can you do? What can each of us do to use our privileges to stop this violence? I'm painting portraits. I'm standing here today. I'm letting my voice be heard. I retell their stories in an effort to keep their memory alive, to raise awareness, and to continue to advocate for those who have no voice. My attempt is to dispel the stigma and the dehumanization of transgender people. That number. I only read 4 names.